so genuinely one of my biggest fears. If you've got a camera in your house, like a Ring camera or like a Simply Safe, you get notifications like this on your phone, right? Keep that in mind, because that ties back to this story. It's the story of what happened to Samantha Duran. It was back in 2015, and she was a 29-year-old woman. She was living by herself, all alone. But she got an alert on her phone in the middle of the night, and this was the image that showed up. Kind of make out the faint silhouette of another person who had crawled through the window of Samantha's apartment. Samantha, she never showed up for work. Like 3 days would pass, and eventually one of her coworkers would come to her apartment. They reported finding this. This is the police sketch of the unknown woman who was in Samantha's apartment for 3 days. It's described in the police reports that she had partially eaten Samantha. This woman did flee the scene, but not before the witness could capture some of these details, and she's the one who gives the police sketch artist everything they need. It is considered one of the most harrowing sketches that was ever seen in this department. So who was the mystery woman?
These are videos humans were never meant to see. Okay, so we all know how scary snakes are and how dangerous their venom is. But have you actually wondered what snake venom does to our blood? Well, in the video I'm about to show you, you're about to find out, and it's extremely disturbing. And if you like snakes, I hate to break it to you, but after watching this video, you're gonna have a new fear for them. Because I'll tell you this much, I never want this happening to my blood.
This guy's house might be extremely haunted.
Alright, tell me I'm on fucking crack. Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch. See that? What the fuck? What the fuck? Tell me I'm not on fucking crack, dude. Hell no. What the fuck, dude? I'm out of here. Nah.
What do you think? Could that be a spirit, or is this guy just tripping? Let me know in the comments below.
Murder by cheesecake. In August 2016, Olga Tizvik, an esthetician from the Ukraine who now lived in Queens, New York and worked at a salon there, got an urgent call from a client. This client, named Victoria Nazarova, who she'd only known for a couple months, was asking for an emergency eyelash repair. Olga asked her if she could wait for an appointment at the salon, but Victoria insisted no. Victoria asked if she could come to Olga's apartment instead. This was urgent. When Victoria arrived, she had a gift in her hand, a cheesecake, urging Olga to have a slice, telling her she has to try it. It's the best cheesecake around. Olga, trying to be polite, said okay and ate a slice. Almost immediately after finishing, Olga fell ill. She quickly became nauseous, dizzy, disoriented, and went to lie down. From here, she doesn't remember much, but she does remember seeing and hearing Victoria creep around her apartment. Olga's friend found her the next day, face down on the floor, and she was rushed to the emergency room. Olga ultimately survived, but it was a very close call. Doctors ran tests, but couldn't find anything out of the ordinary in her system. What had caused this? Olga was a healthy woman. After days of recovering in the hospital, when Olga got back to her apartment, she noticed things were missing. Her passport, her IDs, thousands of dollars in cash, and jewelry. There were also medications strewn about all over the floor. Olga called NYPD and they came to investigate, collecting all the evidence, including the cheesecake container. The medication that was found thrown all over Olga's floor was tested, and it was found to be phenazepam. A very powerful sedative. Heavy doses can lead to coma or death. And investigators found there were also traces of this inside the cheesecake container. Police asked Olga, where did this cheesecake come from? She told them that her client, Victoria, brought it over as a gift. As soon as police learned Victoria's name, alarm bells go off because Victoria had been on the NYPD radar for quite some time, in connection to several robberies and druggings of local men in New York City. Police believe Victoria attempted to murder Olga so that she could steal her identity. The two women did bear a striking resemblance, but Victoria's plan didn't work. Olga survived. Victoria staged Olga's apartment to make it look like she had done this to herself. But why? Go to part 2.
Don't watch this video if you scare easily, because this is Earth's Scariest Places Part 58. This is Oradour-sur-Glane, please excuse my American accent, located in France. This place has an extremely dark history and is very, very haunted. On June 10th, 1944, during World War II, the German SS attacked and destroyed the village. Not only did they destroy the village, they also separated the men and the women. The men were sent to barns, and the women and children were sent to churches. The German SS then proceeded to burn the victims alive, stab them, shoot them, and probably sexually assault the women. In total, 642 villagers were murdered and tortured at the hands of the German SS. It's been preserved to this day almost completely untouched, and it's reportedly extremely haunted. Not only is there an extremely chilling and dark energy there, but people have reported screaming, hearing footsteps, hearing the boots of the soldiers, and more. Today it stands a memorial, and you can go visit for yourself. May the victims rest in peace.
Britney Spears is dead. Britney Spears died in 2018 and has been replaced with a body double. So Britney Spears was under like super strict control by her father and manager, basically where the court orders somebody to be in control of your life, money, and decisions because you're either physically or mentally not fit. And so she was under this control for 14 years. So this control ended in 2021 after the whole Free Britney movement started. People believe that it is not the same Britney because she has not done an interview since 2018. She is extremely active on social media, posts multiple times a day, and her reasoning behind it was like, oh, it just doesn't feel right. It feels silly to have an interview with Oprah. That doesn't seem like the thing Britney would say. So here's an example. If you look at this video, you can see, watch when her hands go down, boom, her face like pops on, and those eyes don't look like Britney Spears at all. Another theory though is that Britney Spears is actually being held captive. So there's been several videos of her.
I've always been so disturbed by the idea of exorcism. And there is this movie that's out that's called The Pope's Exorcist, but I didn't know that the story behind it is actually based on some truth. So back in the day, Father Gabriele Amorth was a real priest with the Vatican, no less. He performed more than 30,000 exorcisms across his lifetime. Yes, you heard that, 30,000. But in this film, he goes to investigate one of those cases depicting the possession of a young child. He ends up uncovering something that the Vatican doesn't want to get out. There's something much darker behind it all.
Dream signs you should never ignore. Teeth falling out.
Teeth falling out is one of the most common dreams. It can leave you feeling anxious and worried. While there is no perfect explanation for this dream, it is believed to represent a sense of loss, insecurity, or fear of aging. In some cultures, it can even be seen as a bad omen. Others believe that these dreams are a sign of personal growth, or it can even be related to communication. What does it mean for you?
4 kids were found in the Amazonian jungle after going missing for more than 40 days. According to reports, they were on a plane that crashed. Their mom and 2 other adults did not make it. The kids miraculously survived the crash, the youngest being 11 months old and the oldest being a 13-year-old girl. After the crash happened, over 100 officials gathered together and went into the jungle looking for these children. No matter how many times they came across clear evidence that they were in the area, they were never able to locate them. They even had neighboring tribes pitching in trying to help find these children. Until finally, the eldest girl's grandmother came forward and said that she believed that the children were all still alive because her granddaughter was very knowledgeable in how to survive in a jungle environment. She also stated that the reason why they were not able to locate the children, even though there was clear evidence that they were nearby, was because a duende had taken them. So pretty much the children were there when they were screaming for their name, but being that the duende had taken them, the children were in a different realm. They ended up blasting the grandmother's voice on a speaker throughout the whole jungle, where the grandmother was pleading with the duende to let the children go. Not long after, all 4 children were discovered in a clearing. All 4 of them were in somewhat okay health, considering that they had just spent the past 40 days in the jungle. This is proof that there are so many things in this world that we know absolutely nothing about. The Amazonian jungle is a very spiritual place. My mom actually grew up in that area and she has a million stories.
This house is interesting, to say the least. They're asking just under $900,000. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath in Summit, Wisconsin. I think it's cool that in the listing they have these historic photos of the house. I guess the siding of the house is like slabs of scrap wood. It's also on this beautiful property. It's 7 acres. But let's take a peek inside. I'm sorry, but this looks like a place you would stumble upon and then quickly realize that you are not supposed to be there. And I don't know what this is about, but it's giving the ritual vibes. And for whatever reason, this really just spooks me out. I don't know. And the ceiling, this is one of the bedrooms. So, like I said, interesting to say the least.
These are videos that can save your life one day, part 1.
Okay, so this is the cold shock response, which really can be mitigated if you just relax. And realize that it's going to pass, and that after it passes, you'll be able to do the second part of your self-rescue. So I spread my arms out so that I didn't get fully immersed in that gasp response. Didn't make me inhale water. So I've survived my cold shock response. Now to get out, instead of trying to pull myself straight up, I'm gonna start to kick my feet and raise them up behind me. And then kick. Till I'm on flat ice. Now I don't want to stand up now. I'm gonna ease myself forward. Until I feel like I'm on stronger ice. Test it.
This is one of the scariest videos on the internet. This cab driver picked up a ghost passenger. Actually a few places in Japan that are said to be haunted by ghost passengers. These are people that sadly died in the area in a car accident. Could she be one of these people? Also, I'm having nightmares tonight. Look at that face. Also, make sure you guys are following me on YouTube for more scary stuff. I'll be covering this case.